got mail.
It's really addictive.
Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple hours, along with Nick.
Good morning.
And a good morning to you, too. And Katie's here.
Good morning.
Morning. And Spence is here.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Gal is a little jet lagged and doesn't feel good, so he probably wouldn't join us. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So.
You're not going out to NAB, Amnon? It's happening
No,
this
I'm not.
weekend.
Are you?
No.
Dab. What is that again?
Where is it?
National Association of Broadcasters show. It's out in Vegas.
It's Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I did something cool. Well, I don't know if it's cool, but for me, it's
Manage expectations, Katie. Manage
well,
expectations.
for me, it's cool. For me, it's cool. So I've been trying to I've done 4 game jams so far, which is where you make your own little video game, and I've been learning Unity and Godot, blah blah blah, and I really enjoy it. And so I was like, you know what? Let me just look up local classes or whatever, and the local community college, which is not too far from my house, is offering programming and game dev classes. And I was like, oh, and I kept thinking about it. So then I applied, and then I got into the program like a few days later, and I was like, I guess I'm doing this. So starting in I don't know if the classes are in May. I think they start in May. I'm going to be taking programming 101 or whatever, specifically with a game design focus. And I really like it. I there's a lot of free stuff online, and I've been taking a lot of those courses. But what I'm finding is that I really need that advice, that mentorship that a teacher offers, where like I could bounce ideas off of them, and then I could use the internet to like figure out how to do specific things. But I'm excited, so I'll keep you guys updated on my continuing education journey.
Continuing
Education, yeah. So I'm still a full-time worker too. So it's like, I was like, okay, I'm only gonna take like 1 class, and it's gonna be in the evening. We'll see how it goes, and then build up.
All right. Nice.
Yeah, and I thought about doing the computer science track, but then it wanted me to take calculus, and I was like, no, ain't nobody got time.
Yeah,
for
that's yeah. Computer science is a lot of math classes.
I was like, no. And then too, like, the community college was like, oh, you can get an associate's degree, and I looked at the associate's degree, and it's specifically for game dev, and they wanted me to take physics and science, and I was like, no, ain't nobody got time for that. I just want to take programming classes.
Yep, that's what I have, and that's what a lot of it was.
And I was like, I don't care about the degree. I already have a bachelor's degree, so I don't need the degree, but I want to be like just further my knowledge in programming.
I think you should just go and get an apprenticeship to be a welder.
My friend's doing that. He was building submarines over in Virginia, and
Wow.
and now
I knew a person once who had worked at General Dynamics as a submarine welder.
Yep, that's what he was doing, and so him and I were talking about it because he had to take a bunch of, like you said, the apprentice thing, and so he's thinking about doing stuff with the focus on welding.
That's a good thing to take. Yep.
Yeah. I was like, oh, cool, I do it too. But then, not that I have any desire to do welding, but like I always put myself in other people's situations. But then he describes the work, and it is brutal. Like he's like, they have to work in the South, in these hangars that don't have any air conditioning, with these machines that pump out like 1,000 degrees. It's like, nah, that just sounds like torture. I'm too delicate. Let me be in my office, my AC office, with my Snuggie on.
Or a little wallflower.
Yep.
Oh.
You can 3D print individual parts for them though.
You know what? That's what I'll do. I'll 3D print the parts, and there's you could 3D print metal at this point. Don't ask me how. I just know it's possible.
One of the It's not the most like it's not the most money making career, but one of the highest paid for like amount of work careers is underwater welders. The guys
Oh
that
God.
literally will
Yeah.
weld under while the ship is still it's not
Mhm.
hauled up. It's
I
and weld
heard
at
that is the most dangerous job. And my other friends are divers, and they said it's they basically have to live underwater, and there's so many things that can go wrong, and get the bends, and I like they were describing the job, and I was like, nope, this sounds terrifying.
You make some stupid amount of money though. It's
Oh yeah,
insane.
because it has a high death rate.
I don't know if it has a high death rate. I haven't seen that.
I'm pretty sure it's one of the top like 5 most dangerous jobs.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know. Don't quote me on it.
The biggest source of commercial divers like that are ex-Navy guys
Yeah.
or salvage and all that. These guys who know the things that they do that you never hear about.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm not in
yeah,
technology.
yeah. AI.
Oh, well,
Back to
look
the
at this.
AI.
Members of Parliament in Canada are expected to vote for up to 15 hours in a row. They did it.
What?
Well, they did it last Thursday and Friday on more than 200 conservative amendments to the government's sustainable jobs bill. 200 at one time. The amendments are what's left of nearly 20,000 changes the conservatives proposed to Bill C-50 last fall at House of Commons committee. Now the liberals, the other side, is saying they're content that the conservatives came up with the amendments using AI in order to gum up the government agenda.
Good idea.
Okay. This is what they do. They can use AI to make the document more complicated, then they use AI to read the document, and then they have a discussion about it.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of changes at once.
Yeah, no thanks.
Amazing.
Don't say that because then the U.S. Congress will create
We'll
an
do
AI
something
program
similar.
for carve-outs.
It's
Wait, is that filibustering? Is that
Yes.
AI filibustering?
Essentially, yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, you saw those videos when businesses started having robots that would answer the phone and they would like talk back and forth to each other. It's like you get your cell phone and you call one pizza place that has a robot that talks and another pizza place that has a robot that talks, and they just end up talking to each other and the people are filming it. I don't know if anybody's seen those videos. I have. They're just like AI going back and forth. Soon,
right.
you know what's gonna happen is that everybody's gonna be replaced with an AI, like the judge and whoever, and then they're gonna simulate the bill or simulate whatever the session, and then get the results at the end, and then the people won't even have to do anything.
I'd like to see something that it will be a little implant that they put in people that makes you smarter, and then you can
Neuralink,
come up.
Elon Musk's already working
I
on
was
it.
about to say, yeah.
Oh, all right. So
Just
if you're
actually makes you more connected to information. It doesn't make you smarter.
Well, that is
Yeah.
true. Information
Just
does not equal
gives you-
intelligence.
Like in,
Yeah.
remember in the Star Wars movie when they went to Vespin, the Sky City, and the guy had the thing wrapped around his head. He opened his eyes and he could just program stuff. Sorry, I'm regressing.
no, you're talking about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So if you're apparently one of the few people using the VPN service that comes with Google One, they said
What
it
is
would-
Google One?
It's a service from Google. I never heard about Google One either. He said the article goes, "We've got bad news for you. In an email you're going to receive from Google, if you haven't gotten it yet, it reveals that the phasing out the perk sometimes later this year. The company rolled out Google One's VPN feature back in 2020, but you could only access it then if you were paying for a plan with at least 2 terabytes of storage, which cost at least $10 a month. Last year, the company expanded its availability across all One plans, including the basic $2 per month option, making it more affordable than before. So apparently, it's some kind of a thing, a pay service from Google. They call it Google One, but they're doing away with that. And there was a story of another. I can't remember who's that is bringing up adding VPN. We'll get to it, but you wonder why. Um,
I'm looking at, excuse me,
Yeah.
looking at Google One.
yeah.
It looks like Google One is their space for Google Drive. That's what they call Google One. So
Okay.
the basic plan is 15 gigabytes. That's what everybody has. Basic is 100 gigs. Premium is 2 terabytes. And then there's an AI premium, which is AI access for Gemini and 2 terabytes of storage. So that's what it looks like.
Okay.
Interesting thing. Didn't know they were even offering that service.
Why? Do you have any of that? Do you have?
No, I just am surprised to hear that Google was offering a
Oh.
VPN. I mean, it's not obviously they could easily set it up. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like they don't have the network facilities to do VPNs. I just wasn't aware that was something that they did.
There was a lot of changes with VPNs, canceling and adding and all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to find that other one because that will be a good segue to that one, but I can. No, we'll see. So who's got anything? Who's got any 13 and 14 Gen Core 9? No.
AMD.
So owners of Intel latest 13th and 14th Gen Core i9 desktop processors have been noticing an increase in game crashes in recent months.
Uh-oh.
It's happening in games like the Finals, Fortnite, and Tekken 8, and has even led Epic Games to issue a support notice to encourage Intel Core i9 13900 and 14900 owners to adjust BIOS settings. Now, Intel says it's investigating the reports. Intel is aware of the problem that occurs when executing certain tasks on 13 and 14 generation core processor for desktop, and it's analyzing them with major affiliates. They said that in Korea, ZDNet in Korea. I don't know why they're not putting out something here. So it's apparently a problem. And I would hate to have. I mean, these are the latest.
And what happens
And
if it's hardware? And
I don't know.
there's no
Hopefully,
fix. Maybe there's a workaround, but it usually slows the machine down a lot.
Yeah. Well, because it's not the first time we've seen there to be an issue in the physical chip itself, and yeah, software is often the solution. It is the only solution.
I wasn't here for when the word came out about the Apple processors having a very bad security flaw that can't be fixed. That has to spin a new.
it will
Amazing.
stay there. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said the workaround is there is a potential workaround, but it will definitely slow the machines down.
Sure.
How many times have we lived this? Well, I
So
probably mentioned this before, but I was involved with the introduction of a major new product at Bay Networks that was at an interop show in Las Vegas. I was put on the press team for some reason to
Yeah.
go and be there for the present at the news conference, and it was a brand new switch, Ethernet switch. First in-house developed, ASICs developed in-house, all that. Put it out on the market. Oh, great reception. People want, what is it? What does it do? And all that. And then within a couple of months, they found out that there was a fatal flaw in the ASIC, and they had to pull it off the market. And it took a year to get the new product out again. Yikes!
Yeah, that hurts.
It does hurt,
Yeah.
especially after you sell a bunch of them.
Back to AI. A couple of weeks ago, Ernie Smith, the publisher of the website Tidium, got a copyright infringement notice from a law firm called Commonwealth Legal. We are reaching out on behalf of the intellectual property division of a notable entity in relation to an image connected to our client. In this case, though, the email didn't demand that the photo be taken down or specifically threatened a lawsuit. Instead, it demanded that Smith place a visible and clickable link beneath the photo in question to a website called Tech for Gods, or the law firm would take action. Smith began looking into the law firm, and he found that Commonwealth Legal is not real, and that the images of its lawyers are AI generated. I got something similar to this. They never said what image it was. And I'm looking to see, okay, I want to know what image you're talking about. And there was no mention of what image. And I said, so it must be junk, and I just threw it out. But it's a lot of these things are happening. Same thing on YouTube with, saying that some of our videos are copyrighted by somebody else, not the music, but the video itself, the show. And I said, no, these are originated here. I think YouTube got to the point where if they get a dispute, then they ignore the original claim from that whoever it is. What I don't understand is why let that original person that went and said, no, we have copyright on it. Why take their word for it and mute the video or take it offline or whatever until you show and prove that you have the right for it?
They can't get in trouble for doing that. If they can get in trouble if they allow somebody who is compromising a copyright. But if they go against, they're taking the best position for them to take legally, because it's on the creator to prove it. If it was the other way around and you ignored the person who was making the claim, you could be in trouble, because then you'd be promoting the illegal act.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't make sense.
A lot of these things are guilty until proven innocent.
Yep.
That's the problem.
I think that's a legal tactic. I don't think that they're ignoring it. I think that's the easiest path to take for them.
Well,
oops, sorry. You can always apologize later. Sorry, we got it wrong. But who gets hurt? There's no victim there. If it was an actual real stealing of a copyrighted material and they ignored it, then they can be part of the remedy of it and have to be forced to do something about it when they say, oh, you knew about it, but you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
What part
But
of my
that's how it
brain
is
suddenly
anyway.
became a lawyer?
And I keep checking now on Facebook to see if they're going to block our video, but so far everything looks fine. They're not complaining. So maybe it was something to do with computers sticking out, because now, Nick, I told you, the computer sticking out is going on Facebook's Nissan Communications.
Yeah.
You do get it from the computer sticking out page, but it's actually the Nissan Communications. It was a whole lot easier to just solve it that way than to try to figure out what's wrong with the page, because it's still, there's a permission still. And Epic Games, the maker of popular Fortnite video games, has urged a U.S. judge to compel Google to open up its Play Store to more competition following a jury verdict that found the tech giant had abused its power over Android app distribution. Were you talking about this, Nick?
No, this
Did
just
I?
happened yesterday.
Oh, that's right.
or
Yeah,
two
that's right.
days
It's-
ago.
yeah.
No, I did read about this yesterday. I actually read it over at the illustrious WRAL. I was
Oh.
doing some reading. Yeah, I mean, this is Tim Sweeney, the man behind Epic, as you noted, based in Cary, has kind of made it his mission. It's not made him very friendly, or it's not made him very popular. It's not given him a large contingent of supporters, but he has made it his moral crusade at this point to, I'll say, fight for the little guy, and I mean, and obviously he's fighting for himself in regards to Epic, but I mean, what he's trying to do is do a transformational change to the ecosystems in these various app stores, and I don't know that he's going to be successful, but he sure as hell's putting his money where his mouth is on it, because he has absolutely led the charge on this.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Nice.
mean, it would be nice. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Apple getting hit with an actual DOJ is it an antitrust suit? I think that's
Yeah.
what it is. There's a lot of stuff that could be happening in the next couple of years and could dramatically change how we use our smartphones and tablets and such.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, not anytime soon. I don't think is when we'll see anything.
Yeah.
And these are I don't remember, Spencer Amnon. How long was the Microsoft antitrust dispute thing in the 90s? How long did that go
few
on?
years.
Oh, years and years.
Yeah. So,
Very long
I mean,
time.
we're in the precipice of that right now. It's not a quick thing.
No.
It pays the salary of lots of lawyers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
That's some serious money at thousands of dollars an hour. Corporate.
Well, for these big time companies like Apple, I mean, they've already got, they probably have more attorneys on staff than they do
Oh, yeah,
anybody
yeah.
else.
And
So
they
for
have
them,
in-house people.
it's easy to deal with and the same thing with Google. But Epic, I'm sure they have some sized legal department. It ain't
Mhm.
Google or Apple's. You can guarantee that.
Yeah. It's all, I mean, it's just working out kinks that some
Well, I don't know
companies.
if they're kinks. I mean, that's the thing, and that's what makes these so what's the word to use? So it makes these so interesting is I do truly see both sides of it. Apple wants to have an ecosystem that they control. It's their device, it's their hardware, it's their platform. And that comes with some pros for the consumer, right? How many times have we seen on Android some app that 70 million people have installed is laden with malware? Or laden with some sort of data privacy issue. That stuff doesn't happen on iOS because of the way in which they lock down their ecosystem in their app store. So there are pros to that. At the same time, as the consumer, if I want an app like Fortnite, which you have not been able to play on an iOS device in 5 years or something, or 3 or 4 years or something like that at this point, it's been off the store. That sucks. If I want to play a game and it's available, but because of a dispute over
You can't.
30% credit card transactions, I can't play it. That really pisses me off. So it's
Yeah.
a complicated discussion.
And a lot of these companies came up with all these rules on their platforms at a time where nobody would even think that it could lead to something like that. And it was fine for a while, and then people say, "Hey, you can't do that." So hopefully,
Specifically with Apple, I mean, this is their company. This is their motto. I mean, they have the most closed platform of any of any major tech company,
right?
And they've been very successful in regards to that. I mean, the Apple tax is a real thing, and people are willing to and pay that because they want to be in that ecosystem, and that's fine. I choose not to pay that. I have an iPhone. I don't have any other OS. I don't have any other major Apple products. I do have AirPods and an Apple Watch because it works well with my phone. But if I wanted that, if I really wanted to send iMessage from a desktop, I would have to go out and buy an iMac or a MacBook Air Pro or a Mac Mini. And I'm just not willing to do that.
Yeah, well, and a lot of their customers are just follow what Apple says because they have a lot of money invested in it.
I didn't say follow. You
Well-
pay for ease. I mean, you can do your oil change yourself, Amazon.
Right, exactly.
Or you can
Yeah,
drive over
yeah.
to Take 5 and spend $60 and
Yeah.
be in and out in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean,
60 is cheap.
well, you're right. It's not 60. But you could, I mean, an oil change is a relatively simple thing to do yourself. It's not very complicated. But the question is, do you want to spend the time to do it? Or do you
Yeah.
just want it to work? That's what it comes down to always.
You don't have to change your oil. That's a myth.
Yeah, I always change my headlight fluid. I mean, I'm an
That's
avid
it.
changer of the
Yes,
headlight
that's the
fluid.
most important thing.
But I don't bother with the regular oil. That's too much for me.
And put air in your seats in the car to make sure they stay comfortable.
Yeah, I've never heard that one before.
Yeah.
Air in the seats.
Yeah,
Really?
you have to
Huh.
fill. Yeah, you have to put air in the seats. That's why they wear.
My
air.
car is the interior of my car is falling apart. It's 14 years old. All the adhesive is starting to fall apart. So I am driving a quintessential definition of a beater at this point.
It's a beater with a heater.
Yeah, the top of the mesh on the top is all
Headline.
falling down.
Yeah.
That's all.
Does it look like a bear?
You got a
shredded?
good
Yeah.
car, Nick.
No, it's in great shape. It's just lost its tension under all the little areas. So
Yeah. You know what fixes that?
So-
Pam, the kitchen spray. Just spray that on there. It'll fix it.
So who's using Beeper?
I don't know if I see because I spend so much time on Instagram and some of these other platforms, there are crazy things like that where it's like,
gosh.
oh,
Yes.
use this thing, and obviously some of it is fake,
Yeah.
like putting headlight fluid in your car.
Yeah.
And then there's other things you're like, holy crap, I had no idea that you could use this for this.
We need to open up a shop where people can go to get all these things done, right? And you can go and then you take it behind the garage door and you make sounds and you bring it out and say, "Here's a checklist. We did all these things for you."
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
remember the drilling the hole in the iPhone because it didn't have a jack. Remember that?
Oh
whole
yeah, the headphone jack. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, and
find
your
the
phone-
secret. Find the secret jack in your iPhone.
Yeah, and if your phone battery was protruding, put it in the microwave, and that will relax
Yeah.
it somehow.
Yeah, it would definitely fix the problem.
Well, yeah, man, you will definitely have to get it. You definitely will be getting a new phone. There's no question about that.
It'll fix the problem by making an even bigger
Yeah.
problem. It'll be a different problem.
And
Yeah.
cause you to have a visit from the EPA.
Blow up your kitchen.
Yeah, with lithium.
So who's using Beeper?
I mean, I still use it, but it doesn't do anything for me anymore. I mean, I chat to you in there, but I mean,
Yeah,
I chat to you like once a week.
I had to stop because I have a iPhone and it stopped working with my iPhone.
So there's
Yeah.
news about Beeper.
Right.
Late last year, the messaging app Beeper raised the ire of Apple when it found a way to recreate Apple's infamous blue bubble messaging on Android. Apple later hobbled Beeper, but it's not an entirely unhappy ending for Beeper, so to speak. Founded 3 years ago, Beeper is being snapped up by Automatic, the respected parent company of WordPress, the
Really?
blogging and content management platform, as well as Tumblr, which it
Tumblr.
acquired in 2019. Beeper co-founder Eric Migikovsky said that the company will continue to exist as a standalone product within Automatic, and that all of Beeper's 27 employees who, like Automatic's employees, are entirely remote, will be absorbed into the larger entity.
Boy, they came out of that looking good.
Yeah.
Considering that they found a buyer.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And there's no talk of how much. Oh, 100. Oh, yeah. 125 million. Sorry.
Damn.
Whoa. See, this is why I'm taking those programming classes.
Well,
So I
okay,
too
sure.
could sell software for $125 million. Listen, I gotta aim big because I realistically won't hit that 125 million, but maybe I'll hit that 1 million. So aim big.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about the story because when I got back from the trip, I got my mail and I'm looking through the mail and I saw for the first time a U.S. stamp with a barcode on it. And I knew
Oh.
it was coming, but I didn't realize it was here. And then I see the story about the UK, how they have China is accused of flooding UK with counterfeit barcode stamps, which is supposed to make this impossible. But I'm reading a story now. It says it's unbelievable. And now the people, it said several senders were left appalled to see their mail returned and being slapped with a 5-pound fine for using counterfeit stamps. I mean, you buy them under, you're not buying them under false pretenses.
Mhm.
I mean, oh my gosh. It said and the senders are insisting that they bought legitimate stamps. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I always worried about when I'm putting a stamp on an envelope because I buy them. I buy the forever stamps
Yeah, we do
that
too.
are older, and they cost a little less. But you're always worried: are these for real or are these not? And it takes time to go and research the company, see how long they've been uh, in business and all that. But yeah, it's a problem. Absolutely.
Did you
All
see
right.
now that they've
Yep.
announced yet another increase in the postage rate?
Well, they're going to have to keep doing it in order to sustain themselves because they're not.
But it's been months. I mean, it was only a few months ago that they
Yeah.
raised it. And they're raising it again. So,
It's a lot of this comes back to Amazon.
well, but the government, nothing to see here.
Yeah.
They give such a good deal to Amazon on this stuff that they are just bleeding cash.
Right.
And eventually that's going to go away because once Amazon has got their full, like we don't have Amazon trucks down here yet. I know you have them up in Raleigh that do
Yeah.
the deliveries. Once they get those Amazon trucks in more and more smaller to mid-sized markets, UPS is screwed. Or USPS is screwed.
They still deliver a lot to us, though, and the small packages come in the mail.
In the mail,
Not-
they do.
Yeah. Not a lot. Not as many as they used to be.
So, Katie, you remember last week we talked about embedded XP? The banks are still using XP
Yeah.
in
was
certain ATMs and
flabbergasted.
stuff. Well, those taking public transport in the tech hub of San Francisco may be reassured to know that their rides will soon no longer be dependent on floppy disks.
BART,
Oh
the BART
my
system.
gosh.
Oh,
Jesus
San
Christ.
Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency Director of Transportation Jeffrey Tumlin told ABC that the city's automatic light rail control system is running on outdated tech and relies on not 3.5 inch, 5-inch floppy disks.
Don't-
Where do they get them these days? I don't know.
It's not, I wouldn't say outdated technology, ancient
Ancient.
technology.
they take 10-inch discs and they trim them down.
That's to boot. The reporter was holding a 3.5-inch disc in the broadcast, so may have just skipped the word point. I mean, it's.
Here's the thing, though. To boot, do these systems ever turn off? Probably not.
I don't know.
But there was a hazard. I used to work on controllers, communication controls that booted off of disks, and it had to actually come out with a software change to tell that once it's loaded, there's no reason to run the drive anymore.
Yeah.
The old ones, they would just run, and you go in and you have a power failure, and none of them would boot because you go and look at the disk, and there was a wear mark where there was no magnetic material on the disk anymore in that spot.
Because it spun 24/7,
Yeah,
360.
because they ran all the time, and it was amazing.
I wonder if they're going to go to 3.5.
No, they're going to go.
They're going
to
to upgrade.
ATA drives. They're going to go to.
Amazing.
Man, Amnon, you thought you were living in the past.
Why?
I can sell them a 10 meg drive.
You have any 5-inch discs, Amnon? You have to have some.
I
somewhere.
have discs. I mean, I have the floppies stored somewhere from the TI days.
I have
5.25. I have some. They're only in. Yeah, I don't think I've ever used a PC with 5.25. Maybe I did. I don't know. But I do
a
have.
bunch of.
I do have one drive on the shelf that I may have used it 5 times in my whole history for a customer who needed to copy something from an old 5.25. So
Wow.
But you know what though? Like a lot of like CNC machines and some of that stuff. A lot of that stuff still like software updates. I'll call them. That stuff's all on floppy still.
dang.
Well, it's reliable.
Well, it's not
Reliable.
that it's reliable. It's that you spent
Can't
a
be
$250,000 on a CNC
Yeah.
machine, and you know you're gonna drop another $250,000 to get a quote unquote new one that doesn't use a floppy disk for software. Probably not. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Spence, I don't call anything that can lose data just by rubbing against something magnetic.
Oh no, I meant hacking. It's not
Oh,
exposed. There's no
okay,
internet
yeah.
connection.
All right,
So
yeah.
it's basically air gapped
Yeah,
from everything else because there's
Yeah.
nothing connected to it.
True.
But
true.
like voting machines were supposed to be. But
Yeah.
Mm.
So, working from home. After a year of cracking down with rigid return to office mandates, defeated CEOs are now finally accepting that hybrid working is here to stay. That is for KPMG surveyed US CEOs of companies turning over at least 500 million and found that just 1/3 expect a full return to the office in the next 3 years.
Sure.
I don't understand why the CEOs aren't all for hybrid or remote, because they're saving a ton of money on not leasing out these office buildings.
That's the problem though, right? Like these companies have 5, 10, 25-year leases that they're paying right now. And so
Oh.
their option is either if you're lucky, Katie, and your company's near the end of a lease period, it's great news. If you're in the middle of if you're 6 years into a 15-year lease, you're
Right.
screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, you pay a huge penalty and fine to break the lease, or you have a third or 2/4 of your office space dead.
They just need to convert it into a Bitcoin farm.
Co-working. I've seen a lot of places turning their excess office space into those co-working facilities where you pay $200-300 a month and you can have not a permanent desk, but an area where that you can drop in and set up a little
hot desk.
set up a little hot desk. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they try to be creative.
Commercial real estate's in rough shape right now. I got a couple of friends that are commercial realtors here, and for not commercial real estate in regards to business, like consumer facing business, but more of the office space, C-suite, things like that. It's pretty brutal right now.
And when is the bubble going to hit? Because I keep hearing that there was some time out in the future, and they kept saying a couple of years out where a lot of these loans are going to come due. And
some of them did. I covered a story on my show probably 3 or 4 months ago that these major companies that are servicing these loans for the properties, these huge commercial properties, are allowing people incredible amounts of leniency. Like they're way behind on payments and they're not defaulting or evicting because they don't want to own the properties. So they're giving
'cause they can't do
huge
anything with it.
leeway to these
Yeah.
companies.
think about just to take over a property like that, paying the taxes just to keep it from being seized. I mean, it's
Let me see if I
sometimes you're
can
better
find
off
that.
just
It was an Amazon article. Zero Hedge Amazon. I think it was a Zero Hedge office space. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Yeah. Okay. I was able to find it. Let me see if I can get to.
Zero Hedge is a great site.
Zero Hedge is a great site.
That and did you ever look at the Burning platform?
No, I'm not familiar.
That's
with
an
the
interesting
Burning
one
platform.
because their picture on the logo on their webpage is a burning oil platform.
Oh, that's
So
pretty funny.
it's kind of predictive of things that are coming.
Yeah, this isn't the article. Damn it. Nevertheless, it talked about how these companies that are holding these loans are kind of screwed at this point.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, no, here it is. 1 week ago, Goldman Sachs told clients that office commercial mortgage-backed securities were being extended and modified rather than refinanced, which claims, quote, helped mitigate a default wave and a sharp uptick in losses on CRE, that's commercial real estate, loan portfolios. But this only means that the can is being kicked down the road until after, pretty much after the presidential election into the start of next year. So yeah, it's there's about to be a huge collapse in commercial real estate.
All right. This week or last week, the new Find My Device feature rolled out to Android devices around the world, starting in the US and Canada. With the new crowdsourced network of over 1 billion Android devices, Find My Device can help you find your misplaced Android devices and everyday items quickly and securely, according to a Google blog post. Now, ZDNet explains that although Google already offer a Find My Device settings on Android phones, the device you're looking for must be powered on and connected for the feature to work. The new Find My Device network is designed to use Bluetooth to track down missing phones and other devices that are disconnected from a Wi-Fi or cellular network. A powered off finding feature would let each device store beacons of its Bluetooth controller's memory, letting the network see any supported device, even if it's not connected.
Uh,
That's interesting.
all right.
I mean, I'm not following this. You're saying, all right, I'm not following it. How can
No,
something?
I'm saying, huh? I'm
Yeah.
like, well, what else is there in the background that we don't know about?
This
How
is very important, though.
Yeah.
how does the iPhone has that, right?
Yes.
It does. I don't know how it works, but yeah, your
It
phone
works.
can be.
I don't,
Well,
I
here's
was
the
just
thing.
reading, trying to figure out how it works because I use it all the time.
There's two different things. There's your phone being dead, and then there's your phone actually being dead. And the iPhone will shut off, even though you're out of juice. The iPhone will shut off when there is still power in. I think of it like the when your engine light or your gas light turns on when you're on empty. I mean,
Right. There's still something.
there's
Yeah.
still gas in the tank. And the iPhone does that for that reason. If you're, out late at night and your phone dies, you can still find it and track it, at least for, I don't know how long it sits on standby for, maybe an hour or two. I don't it depends on the phone, I guess. Until it's actually dead, and then once it's dead, you're SOL.
But it actually works if the device you're looking for is. Did you ever have to do that?
I have.
No, I only have one iPhone.
Well,
so.
I constantly don't remember where I put stuff. So, or if I left it in the car, or at one time I left it over at my son's house, my phone. So I was like, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone?" And sure enough, it was there. And I
But the
used it
phone
for
wasn't dead.
Yeah, no, it was still on, but
Okay.
I'm not sure. AirTags is what I just recently started to use, which is
Yeah,
great.
I'm waiting for another. I've had them in specials a couple times. I'm waiting for another AirTag special. I don't need 4. I'm looking for like a 2-pack.
I bought 4 for the trip because I had one I put in each of the big bags we checked, and one AirTag on both of our sets of keys.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to watch the location change as the luggage was coming through the baggage claim in Auckland. It got closer, it went further, it got closer, it went further. And I'm like, when is it going to come out?
I need to get an AirTag.
You need to what? To get
I said I need to get an AirTag.
well,
Interesting. I
Uh,
have gotten warnings in the past where if you happen to be on the go with another AirTag following the same itinerary, so to speak, it can alert you to say that there's an AirTag following you. But it turns out it's like you're on the same bus or whatever with someone.
Yeah, there's some period of time,
Yeah.
and this is to stop people using it to like track
Yeah.
a girl or an ex-boyfriend or something like that. After a period of time, if your phone is the primary source of, maybe we should back up for a second. The way the Apple AirTag works is it's this little Spence, what's it, about the size of a $50 coin?
Yeah, it's like a quarter size but thicker.
Okay, so
Yeah.
quarter $50 size little device that you connect and set up with your phone. Is it Bluetooth? I think is how it works.
You set it up with Bluetooth.
Bluetooth,
Yeah.
and then after it's set up, any iPhone presumably in the world will pull in this device when it's close. This all the way, by the way, this all happens encrypted and securely in the background. It pulls in the device to an iPhone, and then that iPhone transmits to the Apple server, to the Find My iPhone, and says, hey, this is an AirTag, and this is where it is. And then you can log into your account and see where your things are, even if you're not next to them. There's been these Bluetooth tracking tags for years. Problem is they're only useful if you're around them. If you're not, it's useless. So the cool thing that Apple's been able to do, because they have such a large network of phones, you pretty much can, you can put a box in the mail, ship it cross country, and track it with an AirTag the entire time, because it's always going to be coming in close contact to people that have iPhones. And actually, it is used a lot now for shipping. Like if you were shipping a very expensive piece of jewelry or a very expensive watch, these people are now putting Apple AirTags in the shipping container so that it's not just UPS or FedEx or DHL tracking. You can literally log in and see where this thing is minute by minute, which
Amnon,
is really cool.
You need to use an AirTag for all the bricks of cash you ship. Are you denying that you ship bricks of cash?
Who-
Never
He's a
mind.
smuggler.
Sorry.
He's a
No, Cat is
smuggler.
being a menace. All right. On that note, I've got a jet. So have a great week,
You got
everybody.
your speedo on?
Why would you ask such a personal question here on the show, Anna? I don't bother you. I don't dig into your personal life here on the program. I don't know why you're digging into mine.
Are there any nude beaches near Wilmington?
No, there's definitely not. Well, you know what? Any beach is a new beach is what you make it, Spence. I mean, that's the
right.
the-
You can do it. You
Oh
can do
my
it as long as it takes for law enforcement to find it.
Yeah.
It's just like speeding. It's legal until you get caught. I
That's
mean,
right.
it's one of these things.
yeah.
Nick, your name came up quite a few times yesterday morning over here.
Oh boy.
I had a personal visit from John Hardy, who used to be
Oh,
who used to be
How's
the
he doing?
engineer at the bus. He's doing fine. He's now the chief engineer of UNC Radio.
Oh, I know somebody that works.
I
over there.
actually have his UNC card because I
And-
ran into him somewhere and he gave me his card.
I
Yeah.
was trying to remember who is the engineer that you were working with when there were problems at the Big Talker.
Paul Knight.
Okay. He was talking about somebody, Keith.
Oh,
From
I don't know, Keith.
anyway. All right.
All right. Well, have a great week, everybody. We'll
Be safe.
Have
see, I think I'm here
fun.
next. Actually, I'm not here next week.
You're not.
Unfortunately. No, I'm hosting an event here in Wilmington.
Nice. Okay. All right.
Wear plenty of sunscreen.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
getting.
it's nice. We're hosting our spring quarterly for the Young Republicans. I'll have about 50 folks from across the state coming in for a weekend and got some business and things to deal with. So
Oh,
The-
Nick,
it will be fun.
when you get a chance, I want to tell you something interesting I learned that's going on in election integrity.
Okay, cool. I'll give you a call this week.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Talk to you.
Hey.
See ya.
Bye.
So, Intel is discontinuing its boxed overclockable Core i5, i7, and i9 Raptor Lake CPUs. Every K series chip in the lineup will be discontinued on May 24th, 2024. After which vendors will no longer be able to purchase them. Intel product change document states that the last product discontinuance order date and non-cancelable, non-returnable cutoff point will start on May 24, 2024. And final shipments will end on June 28th. We don't expect 13 Gen K series CPU supply to evaporate instantly, but expect availability to gradually dissipate, along with price increases as vendors move to sell off all remaining overclockable Raptor Lake CPU inventory. That said, most 12th generation Alder Lake CPUs are still priced very competitively, even to this day. So we could potentially see the same behavior with these discontinued Raptor Lake CPUs until stock inevitably runs out. They're talking about 13th gen, 12th gen that were discontinued some time ago, that they're still being sold at nice prices.
Are these considered high end?
Yes.
I mean, these are the super high end ones, right?
Well, yeah, because it's overclocking stuff. I
Yeah.
never understood overclocking, like the appeal to it. It's like push your computer to the max, but like why?
For gaming.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
yeah, but like,
It's just like your car. I mean, you can drive at 55. That's it.
yeah,
But
but
you can
this,
push it to 100 if you wanted to get somewhere faster. And if it was legal,
yeah,
you
but
could.
that's different though, because it's like the thrill of driving. I understand that. When you overclock your computer, you can't use it.
What
Like,
do, what do you
No,
mean you
you
can't
can
use it?
safely use it as long as you monitor temperature and things like
Yeah.
that.
I guess that's what I'm thinking of
Yeah.
because
Well, people put,
all of the overclocking videos I've seen, it's like they push their computer to basically breaking
Well,
point.
that's because they're looking for clicks on videos.
yeah, the thing
Yeah.
is, a lot of these people that overclock, they get specialty made cooling fans and
Uh,
uh, apparatus to put on the computer. Yeah, if you just get off the shelf and it's got one of those chips and you go ahead and push it to the max, yeah, you're going to damage the computer. Absolutely. You're right, Katie. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Let's see what else we have here. Okay. Hardware sold for years by the likes of Intel and Lenovo contains a remotely exploitable vulnerability that will never be fixed. That's what you were talking about before, Spence?
Yes.
The cause is a supply chain snafu involving an open source software package and hardware from multiple manufacturers that directly or indirectly incorporated it into their products. Researchers from security firm Binarly have confirmed that the lapse has resulted in Intel, Lenovo, and Supermicro shipping server hardware that contains a vulnerability that can be exploited to reveal security critical information. The researchers, however, went on to warn that any hardware that incorporates certain generations of baseboard management controllers made by Duluth, Georgia based AMI or Taiwan based AETN are also affected. I'm not sure what is the baseboard management. Is that where you can log into the machine even if the machine is not booting and it's like going
Uh,
directly to the BIOS or something?
yeah, because it's a uh, what they call outer band management. It's like you had with network devices, you have the operating system that runs the switching, but you also
Right.
had an out of band management way of accessing it. As long as it was powered on, that part of it was still going,
Yeah.
even if the
Okay.
rest of it was messed up. But that's probably what it is, this is probably big in industrial
Right.
controls.
It's not at home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's SCADA systems for managing power plants and assembly lines and things like that.
Well,
Yeah, it's scary when you find out about this stuff so long after the fact that it's already out there for a long time before it actually gets noticed. Hmm.
it's bad. There's no doubt.
I just keep getting smacked in the head more and more about, gee, it would be really good to just kind of leave my phone home, not rely on it so much. Or get it. Did you see that they proposed something about banning cell phones for kids under 16?
Yes.
And
Wow.
they say parents would be object to this because they want the kids to be safe. And I said, there's a simple solution for this. You don't have to worry about it. Give them a flip phone.
Yeah.
If they need a phone for safety, somebody build a basic phone that does the things for safety. 911, you can text your kid, you can do the things you need to know where they are, all that stuff. Just get rid of all the rest of the stuff.
They have those phones.
But I mean, if they need to be advertised to parents, say, here you go.
Yeah, there a lot of prepaid phones are like that.
Yeah. It's like the jitterbug for seniors.
Did you
Yeah, jitterbug for kids.
did you say that parents are against it?
No, I didn't. I just
Yeah.
said that if they were against it because they say we give the kids a phone for safety.
Well, I
And
mean,
maybe they have it locked down. I don't
this
know.
is talking about doing it in the UK, in the EU. It says ministers are considering banning the sale of smartphones to children under the age of 16 after a number of polls have shown significant public support for such a curb.
It was brought up because of that. People talked about it in the U.S.
Yeah.
Congress. They were talking
The
about a
government
bill.
issued guidance on the use of mobile phones in English schools 2 months ago, but other curbs are said to have been considered to better protect children after a number of campaigns. A March survey by Parent Kind of 2,496 parent of school-age children in England found 58% of parents believe the government should ban smartphones for under 16. It also found more than 4 in 5 parents said they felt smartphones were harmful to children and young people. Again, this needs to be solved via education, not via legislation like that, I don't think. I mean,
You're right.
teach
Because
the kids how to use it, what not to do, what can you do, what you should be worried about, educate them.
and I think the more important thing is to educate parents
Yeah, and
because
well, yeah,
they
yeah,
don't know. I mean, they just this is what all my friends have phones, mom.
yeah,
Why can't I have one? And
yeah,
some parents just don't even know what their kids are looking at on the phone.
right. They don't.
I'm
Not
glad that
some.
I had kids before this was all there because I just
I
I
remember
don't know.
growing up, when I was a kid, we had walkie-talkies, and then eventually, I think I was like 11 or 12 when I got my first cell phone. But the cell phone this was way before smartphones, so it was just a brick essentially, and that way I could go further away from the walkie-talkie range. But it felt cool having a walkie-talkie because I could just like niner niner da 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 da. Da.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun. That was we played with that stuff. Phones were just out of the question.
So, Spence, you have an iPhone?
I have an iPhone.
And Katie, you do too.
Yeah, I do.
Apple sent threat notifications to iPhone users in 92 countries, warning them that may have been targeted by mercenary spyware attacks.
Mm.
The company
Wow.
said it sent the alerts to individuals in 92 nations. The notification, which TechCrunch has seen, did not disclose the attackers' identities or the countries where users received notifications. Apple detected that you are being targeted by a mercenary spyware attack that is trying to remotely compromise the iPhone associated with your Apple ID XXX. It wrote in the warning to affected customers. This attack is likely targeting you specifically because of who you are or what you do. Although it's never possible to achieve absolute certainty when detecting such attacks, Apple has high confidence in this warning. Please take it seriously, they add in the text. That is, when you think about, oh, yeah, that's iPhone and it's safe and I'm secured and all that, this is obviously somebody found a way to do something that can hurt you.
Did it say how
They,
they
they,
got in?
they what?
Did it say how it got in or whatever?
No,
The virus
no,
or whatever?
nope.
It just targeting iPhone users?
Yep.
Well, I'm always getting text messages and emails that are obviously phishing stuff. And but it's interesting because it's the hackers or the bad guys will figure out a way to get the bad stuff in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll immediately there's a report feature on your phone where it says delete and report. I only have to do it like twice and then it stops. Then it flags the stuff, like it recognizes that this is bad stuff and it'll stop it. So then I'll go a while without having any bad stuff, and then the bad people will get around it, and I'll get flooded with more stuff, and I report it, and then it's like an endless cycle.
Well, the thing is, are you worried about it when you?
No, no, because uh, I only let them in if I click on the bad stuff, and I
Yeah,
don't click on the bad stuff. Now, if it's a security feature where they go through apps of the phone and there's nothing I can really do about that, that's just a security feature with whatever apps I have on my phone, then there's nothing I can really do about that other than it's their responsibility. But at the very least, my responsibility is to not click on suspicious things.
that's a good practice. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, the best
So
practice.
so I'm just curious, like, I again, it all comes down to people just need to be proactive in their education. Uh
Education, education,
yeah,
education.
and if they find out that an app is compromised, then they should delete the app. Or usually when stuff like that happens, though, it's like we find out about it after the fact. But
But
you
way
know,
too far after the fact.
yeah, that's
Find out
true.
about breaches a year later, and it'd be, oh well,
Yeah, that's
we
true.
were dealing with it, and we didn't. Basically they were, you know, calculating their strategy or how they're going to put it out there.
Um, can you remember also last week I mentioned that I got an email from AT&T.
Yeah.
I did
Um,
too.
they were saying that they found out that there was some malware on their system that exposed information, and we'll let you know if you were done. So this week I got a notice that yes, your account was one of those, and we don't think any financial stuff went out.
Yeah.
But they are giving us a year worth of Experian credit monitoring.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
If
No,
only
it's
only if
great.
only if I can make sure that after the year it's not automatically.
Exposed.
Yeah,
My university got quote
yeah.
unquote hacked, and I guess it was so bad that um they were being sued, I guess, or there's a lawsuit. I don't know. All I know is that they sent an official thing that said that they gave us Expedian and for identity theft, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's really happened. Knock on wood. So as I know, knock on wood.
I've been through that 3 times where I've had were notified of breaches and got a year worth of free monitoring. But I was not notified that I was in the group because I think our
Good.
AT&T relationship is just a year old, a little over a year old. So
Yeah, I didn't get
yeah,
notified either, and I've had AT&T for just about 2 years.
You know what I find kind of funny is all these services for identity theft. Try it for 30 days. Try it. Try
Yeah.
it free for 30 days. I mean, what are you trying? I mean, this is something for a long haul. This is not something that is going.
Well, it's so I understand it sounds crazy, but it's people are afraid to make a commitment when it
Yeah.
comes to
Yeah.
purchasing something.
Yeah.
So if they could get the free thing and then they'll forget about it, and then they'll just
True.
be like whatever. And before you know it, they've paid for a year subscription.
Yeah.
But you're right, it is silly.
It is. Spencer, and you know when that breach happened, they say?
It was not in the time that I was. I think they said
4
something
years
about
ago.
for 2019 or 2020. Yeah. So I wasn't a customer then.
Yeah. And that's pretty speedy notification.
That's a pretty uh,
Ridiculous.
legally advised notification.
Uh,
You know,
okay, so
Right.
if you're going to change internet service or anything, we talked about that before too. But starting last Wednesday, home internet and mobile broadband providers in the US are required to display consumer labels with information on prices, speeds, and data allowances. That came out of the situation where, oh yeah, it's going to cost you $29.95, but after they add all the fees and this and that and whatever, it
Yeah,
becomes
yeah.
$40. So now they're going to have like the food labels, you know.
Calories,
Yeah,
fat,
absolutely.
cholesterol, sugar.
And whatever they said that they give you, they'll better give you. Or can you can go back on them and say, no, look, this is not right. You're not giving me that. Uh, Today's nationwide launch of the broadband consumer labels mean internet service providers are now required to display consumer-friendly labels at the point of sale. This is coming from the FCC. Labels are required for all standalone home or fixed internet service or mobile broadband plans. Providers must display the label, not simply an icon or link to a label. It has to be an
Right.
actual label.
They say what size font they have to print it in.
In close proximity to an associated plan's advertisement.
Oh boy. Well, I'm glad it's happening.
Yeah.
Because it was. I'm trying to think. It was the first experience I had with that was my first cell phone. How it went. It was just incredible how the fees that were added. And then I think the early days of Time Warner before it was Spectrum were really bad when it came to those fees.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, you look at a Spectrum bill, you look at an AT&T bill. It's got all kind of fees and this and that and the other. You look at a Google Fiber bill, there's nothing. It's $70. That's it.
Yeah.
So
That
why?
was one of the reasons why we were okay with going with AT&T because it was exactly that. There was no change. Our internet bill is the same price every month,
Yep.
and there's no add-ons. So,
Yeah, but I mean, what happens after the year or two?
well, we're
You just
past a year, and I haven't seen anything change.
yeah.
Yeah, mine's the same. The
Yeah,
only
but if you
notification, I got a
but
notification about my cell phone bill going up
oh.
by $1.
Yeah, I had a weird thing with my talking about cell phone. The last few weeks, I would hear a weird tone that I don't use, and I would look at the phone, and nothing has the dot on it to show that something came in. But then I heard it, and I saw the message while I was reading, and it says, "No SIM found. Download an eSIM."
Ooh,
So
Mm,
no SIM found, and then it'll go away. Everything still works.
that sounds shady.
And it will happen again. I mean, it happened about 10 times. I went to the T-Mobile office the other day. I had some time, and I said, "Guy," and it was in the notifications. I said, "Why do I get this? What is the reason for this?" And they were wondering what's going on. I said, they said, "Did you ever have two SIMs in the phone?" I said, "No." Did you ever have an eSIM? No. So I don't know. They reset some things and see if it happens again. It may be the phone itself. but it's really kind of weird.
That's what you get when you buy a phone at a convenience store
No,
out back.
that was
Hey,
that
hey,
was
want a good deal?
yeah, that was bought at a convenient T-Mobile store.
Mm.
Were they selling hot dogs on the side?
there was no
This-
there, there was no label on it.
I was considering one time traveling
Hmm.
to, like when we went on the New Zealand trip, to actually buy a burner,
Yeah.
see if it was cheaper to use that while we were away. And I decided not to. And I didn't use the phone every day. We had an internet plan on the ship, so we could always use voice over IP. Worked good.
Right.
And when we were on land, we only a couple of days chose to turn phones on and then pay the fee for that day, and it was still cheaper than buying a plan. Like a full plan for the whole time. So we were happy with that.
My brain is so not connected to cell phones because when you said, well, I was thinking about buying a burner, I immediately thought like a stove burner, and I was like, why is the food not good? Like you have to make
No.
your own food. I was so confused. It took me like a second for my brain to be like, no, a cell burner phone. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
burner
yeah.
phone. Yeah. No,
I'm
we were
hungry.
unhappy with we couldn't cook in the cabin, so we bought a burner.
I know. Well, my brain, my body is hungry right now. It wants an early lunch, and so when you said burner, I was like, food.
Yep. I've never met anybody that's used one. I know that people do it.
I
Like
didn't have a burner
prepaid.
phone per se, but when I was in Hong Kong, we bought prepaid cell phones.
Yeah, that's what the term means. It's a throwaway phone that has a number that you don't know that's not tied to you that you
Yeah.
can buy without creating an account.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We ended up buying burner phones. I went with
Did they have
all my
Chinese
friends.
characters on them?
Yeah.
Kind
Well,
of hard to.
no. Actually, it was a British slash English slash American phone. Or well, I say that because it didn't. It had all.
Designed
Uh,
for it. Yeah.
yeah. And it was marketed specifically for tourists. So and at the time it was pretty cheap. It was a lot cheaper than uh going with my phone plan because
Yeah.
my phone plan was gonna charge like $1 per minute or per
Or
megabyte or
10.
something ridiculous.
Yeah, AT&T and Verizon are like $10 a day.
Yeah. And so the
And then
burner phone was, if I remember correctly, it was $35. And I was there for 10 weeks. And I only needed to add more to it, added another $10. So I spent about $45
that's great.
for 10 weeks.
Yeah.
But this was back in 2012.
Good deal.
Yeah, it was nice. And they were everywhere. Like you could pay for more minutes and or time or whatever. And it wasn't a smartphone, didn't have like internet and stuff on it. It was literally just texting the old way and calling.
Yep. All right. Hospitals. Despite being places where people implicitly expect to have their personal details kept private, frequently use tracking technologies on their websites to share user information with Google, Meta, data brokers, and other third parties.
HIPAA.
Right?
I said HIPAA violation.
Well, absolutely. This is according to a research published last week. Academics at the University of Pennsylvania analyzed a nationally representative sample of 100 non federal acute care hospitals, essentially traditional hospitals with emergency departments. And their findings were that 96% of their websites transmitted user data to third parties. Additionally, not all of these websites even had a privacy policy. And of the 71% that did, 56% disclosed specific third party companies' that could receive user information. Now, I can I can see only one situation where they will share so-called share information with Google or Facebook, and that is if the company, if the hospital wants to get statistics, so they use Google Analytics, for instance. Now, there is no medical stuff that should go out. It's me, a user, going to a website. So they capture your IP and whatever else they can, and it's going to Google, obviously, and then you go to your account on Google and you can receive statistics of who came to your website, how many
Yeah.
people, from where, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Is
But
it?
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Well, I guess maybe I missed it when you said it, but is it just going to the hospital
Ye-
websites
Website,
or
website,
because I know hospitals all have cloud-based
right?
like patient stuff, which when you say
That's a website.
that they're selling data, immediately I was like, oh, that is highly illegal. But I don't want to jump to conclusions that maybe it's probably not that. Hopefully, it's not that, and it's just going to the hospital's main website, which isn't unheard of, like you said, to collect data on the users. I mean, I don't per se collect data on my users, but I see where somebody has come from that has looked at my website. Like it'll tell me somebody in California visited my site, and it doesn't give me like specific information, but I'm curious where these people are that have looked at my
That's
stuff.
what I hope this all is.
Yeah.
But you can't be sure that that's all they do. There's just
Yeah.
Yep.
I just thought of something, and I'm going to see if I can create a
Uh-oh.
graphic with Copilot about show a guy in a dark alley selling you information by pouring a can of ones and zeros into your cup.
No, he
I
opens up
got
his
information. You
jacket.
want to buy information? Here it is. It's ones
Yeah,
and zeros.
he opens up his jacket instead of there being watches
Yeah.
and wallets or whatever, it's zeros and ones. Or it's hard drives.
I got to come up with how to phrase it to get something that
Uh,
works. I played around a lot with Copilot recently doing graphics. It's hysterical. Oh boy, I actually sent it out to some people that I know, making fun of them. Oh, it worked good.
So Microsoft has started showing full screen warnings about the upcoming end of support date on Windows 10 PCs. Spence, you weren't here last week. Did you read that now they have extended uh, plans if you want to keep using Windows 10?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, they did that last week. They
Extended
came out.
plans, like at a cost.
Each device is $61 a year for the
Oh,
first year, double that for the second year, triple that for the third year
unbelievable.
for each device. Yeah. So
That's insane. I mean,
well,
you think? I mean, it's smart from them to make money, but they're going to piss a lot of people off.
of course they are.
Oh, boy.
I was saying, this is where people will resort to piracy at that point because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff out there. Hey, this is how you do away with that thing.
Yep.
Just install this and everything will work.
And they're giving them enough time to come up with something before
Now,
it starts. So yeah, it'll happen.
so users on Reddit have reported seeing the prompt, which began appearing after this week Patch Tuesday updates were installed, and encourages the user to learn more about how they can transition to Windows 11. Windows 10's end of support date is currently set for October 14, 2025. After that date, Windows 10 users will no longer receive critical security and bug fix updates. leaving any Windows 10 PC connected to the internet vulnerable to any newly discovered security exploits. The full screen prompts that is now appearing on some Windows 10 PCs thanks the user for their loyalty using Windows 10 and warns that this end of life date is approaching. It's also wastes no time advertising Windows 11, encouraging the user to learn more about how they can transition to the new Windows 11 PC. Notably, there's no button to tell the prompt to never show again. So you get it every time they want to display it to you. I hope they're not going to show it to Windows 10 machines that don't have the what is it that they look for, the security thing?
TPM.
TPM.
Yeah, I have no TPM. I can't put
Yeah.
it in this machine.
Yeah, I know. Same
So-
here on this machine here.
And I'm perfectly happy. It works great. I have no issues with performance or anything. And
Yeah.
I have to buy a new machine.
Yep. And
I
that this
have-
is this is when we started last week. I was telling Katie, you know, I mean, there's some outfits out there they're still using XP because it's something that they can't upgrade because of cost or whatever. And it's been working. And I was using Windows 7 for the reruns machine until the drive went, and I decided, okay, yeah, I'll upgrade to Windows 10. And it was working fine. So we'll see. It's coming. I mean, there's no doubt that you know we're gonna have to do it sooner or later. But I'm not gonna replace a perfectly good working machine, strong machine, just because of that. Now, I was thinking about putting Windows 11 on it by adding. Apparently, you can buy a little module that doesn't cost much that you plug into SATA. No, not SATA. What do you call them? The slots.
USB.
No. Inside internal slots.
Yeah.
The small ones.
Express.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PCI
PCI Express.
Express.
Yep.
But there are so many different ones, and you don't know which one works for this motherboard or for that motherboard. And I couldn't find, and I didn't want to spend hours trying to find out which is the right one for me. I don't understand why you can't just put, here's the motherboard model number, and I'm looking for a TPM, and oh, this is what you need. It seems like the company, you know, should be able to say, yeah, this is what will work with our motherboard. So anyway,
All right. I'm going to share this graphic with you
all right.
that I just created. All right. Let's see here. Share screen. All right. All right. Share. I can't see what you're seeing except the show. I can probably zoom in on this. Can you see it?
He looks like a hustler with
It's
data.
a guy selling ones and zeros in a dark alley and handing them out in cups.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. It says at the top.
It's
Relipo. What is that?
it's nothing. It's AI being
Yeah,
like, oh, there's signage in a dark alley.
Yeah. I did pretty good for just a very basic
Yeah.
instructions.
Yeah, definitely looks creepy.
Oh boy. Okay.
So yeah, go ahead and get some.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can make it innocent by having little kids sell it. It's just like lemonade, you know. It's like, I'm gonna get you ones and zeros.
So you iPhone people, Apple is
You
finally
iPhone.
making.
Oh, it's a you people.
Yeah,
on the
I
road.
don't.
Very cool.
I've got an Android. I never had an iPhone. Apple is finally making it easier for users to repair their iPhones with used parts. In an update last Thursday, the company announced that this fall, owners of select iPhone models will be able to repair their devices with used, genuine parts while retaining full functionality. There was a situation where they were pairing them. I mean, it has to be that number with that number. I mean, it was making it impossible to be repaired. When repairing a phone, Apple requires iPhone users to go through a process called parts pairing. There it is, which makes them match the serial number of their device to that of a new part sold by Apple. If a user replaced the part with an aftermarket or used component, the iPhone would display pesky notifications saying that Apple isn't able to verify the newly installed piece. In the case of Face ID and Touch ID sensors, the part might not work at all. This change should do away with these notifications for used parts. As Apple says, calibration for genuine Apple parts, new or used, will happen on device after the part is installed. It also means users and repair shops will no longer have to provide the serial number of the device they're fixing when ordering most parts from the self-service repair store. You still won't be able to use a third party, but I don't know that there are any third-party parts for iPhones.
Uh, very hard to get if they exist.
So,
Bootleg parts, meaning
but you can, but you,
scavenge parts, yes, but
yeah.
not,
So scavenging parts now will work because they are Apple. It's a step in the right direction, any way you look at it. Goody for them. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, so the Motion Picture Association is going off on piracy again. During CinemaCon in Las Vegas, MPA CEO Charles Rifkin announced that the organization plans on working with Congress to pass rules blocking websites with pirated content. I mean, I never thought that they stopped.
Yeah, I don't.
it's blustering.
Yeah.
Here's
No.
what we're going to do. Yeah. We're
Yeah.
really not going to do anything. We're just going to make it sound like we do.
And look at Amazon. Listen to this story. Amazon will no longer pay developers to create applications for Alexa, scrapping a key element of the company's effort to build a flourishing app store for its voice activated digital assistant. Amazon recently told participants in the Alexa Developer Reward Program, which cut monthly checks to builders of popular Alexa apps, that the offering would end at the end of June. Developers like you have and will play a critical role in the success of Alexa, and we appreciate your continued engagement. The notice, which was reviewed by Bloomberg. Amazon is also winding down a program that offered free credits for Alexa developers to power their programs with Amazon Web Services, according to a notice posted on a company website. So they were trying to get these people to develop stuff, encourage them to do it, paying them, giving them some other goodies. They stop it. And I know that some time ago we were talking about that, and they were saying that they are not going to continue developing the Echo. Seems like I remember something like that. You guys?
I don't know. I have Amazon Echo, and it keeps dying on me. Like it keeps like disconnecting and whatever. So I don't even mess with it anymore. And I bought an Amazon screen or whatever that one
You
is that
mean the
has a
one with
screen.
the show?
Yeah, yeah. And I haven't hooked it up yet. This is a pain in the butt.
Is it not because the Echo device is too far from the router?
No, it just Echo would just like randomly disconnect and say I have to reconnect it, or
Ah,
it says it doesn't have access, or and I've
interesting.
had to reinstall it on my Amazon A app so many times.
Wow.
It's just a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it is. That's a pain. I agree.
So I'm just gonna toss it. I just haven't yet, and then I haven't bothered hooking up the touch yet.
Go. Make a point of it. After the show, go do it.
Nah. After the show, I need to eat.
Oh,
Or
okay.
else we're gonna be talking about cell phones and it's gonna be a trigger, a Pavlov response to food. Talk about burner phones.
Um, the U.S. government said last Thursday that Russian government hackers who recently stole Microsoft corporate emails had obtained passwords and other secret material that might allow them to breach multiple U.S. agencies.
Mm.
The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, an arm of the Department of Homeland Security, on Tuesday issued a rare binding directive to an undisclosed number of agencies, require them to change any logins that were taking and investigate what else might be at risk. The directive was made public Thursday after recipients had begun shoring up their defenses. The successful compromise of Microsoft corporate email accounts and the exfiltration of correspondence between agencies and Microsoft presents a grave and unacceptable risk to agencies, CISA wrote. This emergency directive requires agencies to analyze the content of exfiltrated emails, reset compromised credentials, and take additional steps to ensure authentication tools for privileged Microsoft Azure accounts are secure.
Is this the story that you part of the
We
story
talk,
that you read last weekend?
yes, that's the one that we're talking about. Uh, but you see, this is a Microsoft problem,
Yeah.
not a
Now
mention.
Russia has my internet search history.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I'm not a government agent. Dang it, I gave away. I'm the secret spy of the CIA. My boss is gonna be angry.
Yeah. And talking about, Windows 10 and trying to update and can't do it because of this and that. According to StatCounter, Linux on the desktop has continued to rise and remains above 4%. First hitting over 4% in February, their March data is now in showing not just staying above 4%, but rising a little. Once again, showing the trend is clear that Linux use is rising.
Yeah.
Slow and steady wins the race, as they say. It's just like the tortoise and the hare, just keep going
Yep.
slowly, keep going, and it's going to grow. And that would be really nice when you can run Linux on your desktop and not worry about being compatible with so called rest of the world.
Yeah. I like it. I like it when there's more options for the
Yep.
consumer.
Yeah.
That breeds innovation.
Spence, you have a machine that's running Linux on your network at home?
I have one.
Yeah.
Well, it's not running right now, but I do have one. I have several laptops that I did updated with Linux because they were such old operating systems.
Yeah.
And old hardware. But it's funny about you mentioning about the Windows 10 thing is that when I visited this guy in Alabama, he had bought a machine laptop and never used it with Windows 10. And I said, oh, well, actually, I powered it up and it was Windows 8.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I'll put Windows 10 on for you. No, maybe not. Not worth it.
Obviously, he doesn't need it if he didn't use
Yeah,
it.
well, he's not using it. He has an iPhone, and while we were in Alaska, I went with him and bought an iPad for him. So he's using his iPad. I'm not sure how much.
Yeah.
But he does fine with his iPhone. He does his email and everything he needs to do. So. Yeah, I'm considering here whether I want to build a machine or just buy one. It's probably going to be cheaper to buy one.
It'll be cheaper to buy one.
And just
Absolutely.
to buy another. I see great deals on i5 and i7 laptops from Lenovo, the same class of machine that I have with the i3. That's a six core. That's a great machine. There's no reason why I can't replace this one with another laptop. I never have to take it anywhere, but still cheaper. Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
Years ago when laptops were so much more expensive.
Yeah, that's because most people buy laptops these days.
Yeah, the prices are great, and why get that loud, noisy hardware? Takes more power.
Yeah.
When you can get a laptop that'll run on like 130 watts.
That's right. What's Katie doing? Oh, that's the cat's tail.
Cat.
Yeah,
the cat.
the cat decided that he was gonna walk in front of my camera.
It's time to interrupt.
Yeah.
Well, it's time. I mean, we can end the show. I mean, I don't have any more stories.
Yep. I'm gonna enjoy the
I don't know
beautiful day.
what else you guys want to talk about, or if
I'm
there's
good.
any questions from the audience
On the peanut gallery.
on the peanut color. Yep. So you think pollen is over?
Oh, I hope so.
I
Gosh,
hope so.
I had tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
From the oak pollen.
Yep.
And I sneezed my brains out yesterday. I didn't realize that apparently something's changed where Pam and I are both allergic to it because we came home from Alabama and I was like blasted with allergies. Was it just very intense this year?
Well, I noticed that it comes in cycles. That sometimes the because I'm native, and sometimes it'll hit me, and then oftentimes it doesn't, and so it just comes in and out. So
It
I
was
wonder
this
if it's
morning.
the same thing.
I feel fine today. Yesterday was bad.
It was early, and it was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
I don't usually collect that pollen, the pods that come off the tree. I don't usually collect them and dump them on this curb. I literally filled half a bucket, like a leaf bucket, with that stuff in the yard.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The oak. What comes off the oak trees now? These just little streamers of
those strands.
Silk or whatever they call it.
Yeah,
and it was rolling into balls. I was blowing it, and it got bigger and bigger. It was collecting itself. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I mean well, yeah, we have more oaks than you do. That's why. I mean, we filled up a few of big bags and cans, and yeah, it's ridiculous. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, yesterday I went to blow the yard, and there wasn't that much. So
no, I hadn't touched it in over a week, so it was a lot. And I've got we have, like I said, I mentioned earlier about my nephew and his family coming down. They'll be here late this afternoon. I'm still in the process of cleaning up outside, but I'll have to blow off the porch because it's a mess.
Yep. All right.
All right. Well, have a good day.
You do the same.
Yeah, I can get you a better deal on Windows 10. Mine's
Yeah.
only $20. It's
I'll
$20 a year.
I'll I don't like to go into dark alleys.
Yeah. You
Oh
don't
yeah,
want the
that's
data
right.
from a
Yeah.
cup. And again, my brain is not on technology because as soon as you said I have a better deal for Windows, I thought, oh, I just got my Windows replaced. And I just like, my brain is just not. Today is
Yeah.
hard. Today it's just, I'm not on it.
I just received a replacement window from my
You
my
did.
yeah, one of my
Finally.
sashes popped
Yeah.
again, the seal popped. This is the 6th or 7th window I've replaced in the 20 years that I've had these windows.
Nice.
And
just
but
got.
they send me a new one. I mean, this
What's
time
the
they didn't charge me.
What's the company?
American Craftsman from Home Depot,
Interesting.
which has gone through apparently 3 different owners or managing companies that runs the plant. It used to be, at one time it was Pella, at one time it was something else, and now it's
Did
uh,
did they come to install it or you had to do
oh
it?
no, I just ordered it, and I can replace it myself. It's easy. I've done it multiple times. But the first group of them I got over the years were free, and then one they charged me $50 to ship it to me. I said, this is insane, and this one was free. So Plygems is the company that owns it now. So used to be they shipped it to the store and you could pick it up for free, and now they sent it to the
We
house
didn't
for
have
free.
to deal with this yet. I mean, ours are about 20 some years. It
Oh.
was Windows World.
Yeah. Well,
And I
ours
don't know.
were the first. I think it had to do with an early batch because it was only so far. It's only been the ones on the front of the house. That was one order, and it was 8 windows. And then the only other one that went bad in the house was one that cracked, and they sent me another one.
Wow.
So it was like within 2 or 3 months of installing it, it just went right across the middle crack. So it was probably a
Oh.
defect in manufacturing.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Go out and clean your windows today.
Windows.
Windows.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Spence.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Nick. And I hope Gal is feeling better. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. And change any same passwords wherever you use them. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Colin. Remember, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., Nick is on Wilmington's 980 The Wave and 107.9 FM with his daily political comment drive show. You can listen to it live on your Echo device. Just tell it to play 980 The Wave. Or you can go later to nickcraig.com to listen to and download the podcast and listen to it at your leisure. And also at 7 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, depends on which day they decide, Nick and Brian do the Infection podcast on Twitch. That's for survival games, gaming news, and some political commentary. So go to infectionpodcast.com and find out when is the live one if you want to listen to it live, or again, download the file from infectionpodcast.com. Have a great week, and we'll be back together next week. Bye-bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.